Hi everybody, it's Thomas here from Thomas Fitzgerald Photography, and welcome to another Luminar Quick Tip. Okay, so in this video I'm going to look at creating black and white images in Luminar, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. So what I'm going to use is, instead of using the normal black and white tool, which works perfectly fine and is a pretty great way to make black and whites as well, I'm going to show you a different way of doing it, and that is by using the LUT mapping feature. So if you use LUT mapping, you might think of using it to give kind of creative color effects to your images, but you can actually also use it to create black and whites. And it's actually quite a powerful feature if you have some good black and white LUTs. So to give you an example, I have this fairly straightforward image here. It's nothing particularly fancy. I have set up a workspace here with just 3 filters in it. So I have LUT mapping, accent AI, and curves. But all I'm going to use for this first image is just LUT mapping. Now I have created some of my own LUTs, and I will have a link to some that you can download at the end of this video. So the first one I'm going to do on this cat is I'm just going to use a straightforward single LUT map, and I already have it preloaded in here. So I'm just going to hit this. There you go. There's a black and white image straight up just by purely using the LUT map. So you can do further tweaks to this if you need to. For example, if I wanted to kind of adjust the brightness slightly, I can use the curves here just to bring it down. And as you can see straight away, that's actually quite a nice black and white image. So again, there's before and after, or if I do a split screen here, we can see. And that's just by using a single LUT map. The advantage of this over the black and white function is when you do black and white using the black and white conversion utility, you have to kind of tweak it and get it to look the way you want it to. Whereas if you're using LUTs that have been created with a specific kind of look in mind, you do it all in one click effectively. So that's just one example. Let me give you another. So let me just switch to this picture here. So here we have just an image of a tram that was taken in Vienna. So in this example, what I want to do before we apply the black and white look to it is I want to darken the sky a bit. So I've already added in the polarizing filter here. So let me just bring that up. So that should bring down the sky a little bit, but we can add something else. Say, let's try adjustable gradient, for example. And what I want to do is I want to make sure this is at the top. So before the LUT mapping filter, and we want to just bring down the exposure ever so slightly at the top, and maybe bring up the vibrance and a little bit of the contrast, and let me just set it so that this is just at the top of the image. Okay, so that should be fine. Okay, so now we can apply our LUT. So in this case, what I'm going to use is this one here. Okay, so straight away you can see again we've got a nice kind of high contrast black and white look going on. And we can actually adjust the contrast here to go either way with this. And again, if it's too bright, we can use our curves to bring it down a bit. Or we can adjust it other ways with the curves. And of course, you can add other filters to this as well. So if you want a film effect, you could say, for example, the matte look filter. Just kind of give it a kind of a semi-faded look. And then say grain. So there we have a film look, and that only took a few seconds. Well, it took a few minutes. But again, because the look is baked into the LUT file, you don't have to play around with different levels in the black and white. So I'm not trying to say that this is in any way better than using the standard black and white tools. It's just a different way of doing it, and it gives you kind of a quick kind of one fix solution. And of course, as I said, you may need to do some additional tools to it. But as you can see, it's actually quite effective at giving you a look quite quickly. Okay, so here's another example. And in this case, what I'm going to show you is that you can use a black and white LUT in conjunction with the standard black and white tool. So I have this set up already. So first of all, I have raw develop on, because in this case this is a raw file. So that all I'm doing here is I'm just tweaking the highlights a little bit, and maybe I'll just bring up the contrast slightly as well. So the next thing I'm going to do is I have a black and white conversion filter here, so I'm just going to turn that on. So that gives us a straight black and white conversion. So what we can now do is add a LUT on top of this. So let's say if I apply this one, and that straight away gives us kind of a high contrast look. And as you can see, it's a bit too much now. But we can dial this down. And in the other examples, if you're just using a LUT to create your black and white file, it's actually going to go back to color when you do this, but because we've added black and white conversion as well, it's not. So again, we can do other things to this, so we can add some more curves in or whatever, or use accent AI if you wanted to. And again, if I go, there's before, there's after, and if I just turn off the LUT, you can see, so that's kind of the difference the LUT has made. And I know it might look like you're just adding contrast here, but it's actually, because it's a LUT, it's basing different tones on different values, so it's a little more complicated than that. I mean, it's up to you to decide if you think it's worth the difference or not, but it only takes a second to apply a LUT. So, okay, so let's just do one more example. So this is kind of I have a long history with this bench. It's kind of one of the first images that I took years ago, back when I was starting out in photography, because I really liked the texture in this bench, and also it's kind of I use it for testing lenses to show off the bokeh. So in this case, it's not a particularly pleasant image because I was using a kind of crappy lens on it. But again, when you make it into a black and white, it looks quite good. So in this case, I'm just going to go with, let me see, let's try this one. Okay, so again, straightforward, single LUT file, and you have a good, strong, punchy black and white without having to do anything else to it. And of course, I could, again, take this further. So if I wanted to kind of soften it off, I could do something like, say, add the Orton effect to it. And just kind of give it a nice kind of glow, and then we could just add grain for kind of a nice black and white film look. All we've used here now is LUT mapping, Orton, and grain. So there you have it. It's an alternative way of creating black and whites. It's not necessarily the best way to do it. I'm not even trying to say that this is a better way to do it, but it's a different way to do it. So if you want to kind of try a different approach to creating black and white images in Luminar, this is one way you can try and do it. So I will include a link below that will have a couple of samples of these. I already have a LUT pack for sale on my website, which is more color LUTs, but in the next little while I'm going to put up a series of black and white LUTs as well. So, but in the meantime, I'm going to have a couple of demo files that you can download. So I hope you found this useful, and thanks for watching. And if you do like this, subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. Okay, so thanks for watching once again, and see you in the next video.